There are questions tonight about how far local authorities are willing to go in Barcelona to find the truth. The city of Barcelona estimates that 30 million tourists visit the city every year, making tourism a major economic driver. And it's the same reason a forensic expert has doubts about police methods. Which is why Joseph Scott Morgan, a distinguished scholar of applied forensics at Jacksonville State University, is questioning police methods.
The country does not need a black eye. And so they don't want anything negative that's going to be said that could impact tourism in that area.
20-year-old University of Alabama student Jimmy Gracey was a spring break tourist in Barcelona. Gracey went missing Tuesday. Local media say new surveillance video from the pier further indicates drowning.
It started like any other spring break story. A young man, a foreign city, a nightclub on the beach. Friends, music, laughter, the kind of night that's supposed to be the highlight of a semester abroad. But somewhere between 3:00 a.m. and sunrise, Jimmy Gracey vanished. No goodbye, no phone call, no trace. Just a 20-year-old American college student, someone described by everyone who loved him as responsible, faith-driven, and deeply devoted to his family, gone into the Barcelona night. For 2 agonizing days, his father flew across the ocean to search for him. His mother posted desperately in expat Facebook groups. His friends retraced every step. Spanish police deployed helicopters, motorcycle units, and dive teams into waters so murky, divers could barely see 16 inches in front of them. And then they found him. Not in a hospital, not in a police station, in the sea, just 500 feet from the last place he was seen alive. What happened in those final hours? Was it an accident? A crime? Something darker that no one wants to say out loud? Tonight, we're breaking down every known fact in the case of Jimmy Gracey. A case that gripped 2 continents and raised questions every young traveler needs to hear. Let's go. Before we talk about what happened in Barcelona, you need to know who Jimmy Gracey was, because he wasn't just a headline, he was a person. Jimmy Gracey was 20 years old, a junior at the University of Alabama, and originally from Elmhurst, Illinois, a quiet suburb just west of Chicago. He was the kind of kid that people describe as genuinely good, not just nice, good. He was the eldest of 5 children, and if you know what that means in a close family, you already understand something about his character. He helped his parents with his younger siblings. He showed up. He was the one people leaned on. At the University of Alabama, Jimmy was more than just a student. He served as chaplain and philanthropy chairman of his Theta Chi fraternity chapter, 2 roles that speak volumes. His chapter president called him a beloved mentor and brother. His aunt, Bate Marin O'Reilly, told the Associated Press simply, "Just a great kid, a good Catholic boy from the Midwest, very good student, honors program at University of Alabama, just an amazing older brother and role model." He was 1 month away from finishing his junior year. He had flown to Europe for spring break, first stopping in Amsterdam, then landing in Barcelona on Monday, March 16th, to visit classmates who were studying abroad. He was scheduled to fly back home on Saturday. He never made that flight. Jimmy Gracey was not a reckless kid. He was not someone who disappeared without explanation. That's what made the silence so terrifying for everyone who knew him. Monday, March 16th, Jimmy arrives in Barcelona with friends. The city is electric. It always is. Port Olympic is one of the most famous nightlife strips on the entire Mediterranean, a promenade of bars, clubs, and restaurants running right along the sea. Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, a city full of tourists, loud music everywhere. Jimmy and his friends head to *Xoco*, one of the most well-known beach clubs in all of Barcelona, right on the waterfront. They're laughing, dancing, living the spring break dream that millions of students plan every year. And then, somewhere around *3:00 the night shifts. His friends prepare to leave. Jimmy stays behind. Whether he wanted one more drink, got distracted, or simply made the small, forgettable decision to linger a few minutes longer, We don't know. What we do know is that the group became separated. Jimmy was now alone. Surveillance cameras in the area caught what happened next. According to Spanish newspaper El Periódico, CCTV footage shows Jimmy walking by himself away from the club and onto a dock near the water's edge. The Port Olympic Marina is right there, a stretch of floating docks and breakwater rocks, poorly lit, surrounded by dark Mediterranean water. And then he goes in. His friends woke up Tuesday morning and realized Jimmy hadn't come back to the airbnb. They waited. They called. Nothing. That completely out of character phrase kept coming up because it was true. Jimmy wasn't the type to disappear. He checked in. He was responsible. His family knew something was wrong before authorities did. Friends alerted police. Jimmy's mother posted in a Barcelona expat Facebook group, desperate for any information. His father, Jimmy Gracey, boarded a transatlantic flight to Spain to search for his son himself. By Wednesday, the Mossos d'Esquadra, the Catalan regional police, had deployed helicopters, subaquatic units, and motorcycle patrols. The search spread across the beach, the marina, and the surrounding sea. His wallet was found floating in the water on Thursday. His phone had turned up in someone else's hands. And then, at **7:15 p.m. local time on Thursday, March 19th, dive teams made the discovery everyone had prayed wouldn't come. The moment Jimmy's phone was found in someone else's possession, alarm bells went off. A man, described by Fox News Digital as previously known to local authorities with a history of prior thefts, was arrested. This is the part of the story where the internet ignited. People assumed the worst. Robbery, a targeted attack, someone who drugged him, took his phone, and left him for dead. But here's what investigators found. According to a law enforcement source cited by Fox News, the man arrested did not take the phone from Jimmy directly ***. He is believed to have found it on the street and picked it up. As far as authorities could determine, he had no contact with Jimmy Gracey at all. And then there was the wallet. It was found floating in the water, intact, money still inside, credit cards untouched, documents still there. In the words of a police spokesman, that detail specifically lessens the likelihood of foul play. If someone robbed Jimmy, they didn't take anything. So what are investigators actually working with? The Mossos d'Esquadra, the Catalan regional police force overseeing the case, have outlined several active theories. Theory 1, accidental fall. The surveillance footage is the strongest evidence here. CCTV shows Jimmy walking alone onto a dock near Xoco and falling into the water. The breakwater area at Port Olympic is not a swimming area. It's dark, the rocks are slick, and the water is deep. A fall from the dock, especially for someone disoriented, could be fatal within minutes. Theory 2, intoxication, alcohol or drugs. A law enforcement source told Fox News that drugging had not been ruled out ***. Whether Jimmy was given something without his knowledge, took something voluntarily, or simply drank more than his body could handle, toxicology results will be the key. Those results are still pending, as of this video. Theory 3, foul play. This remains on the table, technically, but investigators have repeatedly emphasized there are no signs supporting it. The autopsy found no injuries consistent with a physical assault before the fall. The wallet was intact. The CCTV footage shows him walking alone. Every piece of evidence points away from a crime, but the toxicology report could still change the picture. The preliminary autopsy, filed with a local Spanish judge and reported by El Periódico, found that Jimmy's body showed multiple injuries, but all of them were *** consistent with repeatedly striking breakwater rocks, possibly during a sea swell after he entered the water. Not a beating, not an attack. The sea. The Mossos d'Esquadra's first line of investigation, their primary working theory, is *** accidental death ***. It's important to be precise here. Accidental doesn't mean painless or simple. It means that based on all available evidence, the surveillance footage, the autopsy, the physical evidence at the scene, No other person appears to have caused Jimmy's death. But we still don't know the full story. We don't know what Jimmy's blood toxicology will reveal. We don't know what, if anything, he consumed that night. We don't know the complete sequence of his final hour. The investigation remains ongoing. This is the part of the story that feels incomplete, because it is. In the early hours of the investigation, details emerged that sent the internet into overdrive. A man had Jimmy's phone. Someone unknown may have been near him. Early surveillance reports were vague about whether he was truly alone. The word drugging appeared in news reports. Every element that people associate with a true crime, a foreign country, a nightclub, a missing phone, was present. But then the facts arrived, one by one, and complicated the narrative. The phone thief had no connection to Jimmy. The wallet was full. The CCTV showed him alone. The autopsy showed no pre-mortem assault injuries. Here is what we actually know, confirmed by credible sources including CNN, Fox News, ABC7, Newsweek, and the Associated Press. The cause of death asterisk is preliminarily drowning, with injuries consistent with striking rocks. No foul play has been identified. Toxicology results are pending. This is the biggest outstanding question. The man arrested with the phone is believed to have simply found it on the street. Jimmy's wallet asterisk was recovered intact, ruling out robbery as a motive. CCTV footage asterisk shows Jimmy walking onto a dock alone and falling in. What we still don't know, exactly what Jimmy consumed that night, why he chose to go toward the water, and whether toxicology will reveal anything that changes the picture. His family has requested privacy. His father flew to Barcelona to bring him home. The case is still technically open and ongoing, with Spanish authorities waiting on final laboratory results before issuing a definitive ruling. The most honest summary of where this case stands right now, all evidence points to a tragic accident, but all the evidence isn't in yet. In Elmhurst, Illinois, the town where Jimmy grew up, something quiet happened in the days after his death. People tied red ribbons around the trees near the Catholic grade school he attended as a child. Not a protest, not a vigil with speeches, just red ribbons. A community saying, "We remember him, he was ours." At St. Ignatius College Prep in Chicago, where Jimmy went to high school, the school announced a memorial mass, breaking Lenten tradition to hold a requiem mass for a former student who was loved. The University of Alabama released a statement calling Jimmy's loss deeply felt across our campus. Counseling resources were made available to students and staff. His fraternity, Theta Chi, fell silent, processing a grief too large for public statements. His family, his parents, 4 younger siblings, aunts, uncles, have asked for privacy. They said what needed to be said in a statement that broke hearts around the world. Jimmy was a deeply loved son, grandson, brother, nephew, cousin, and friend, and our family is struggling to come to terms with this unimaginable loss. And then they asked to be left alone to grieve. That should be respected. But there are things worth saying, things this case forces us to sit with. Spring break travel is something millions of young people do every year. Barcelona is one of the most visited cities on Earth. Port Olympic is a world-famous destination. Nothing about Jimmy's trip was reckless. He wasn't in a dangerous place. He wasn't doing anything that countless other students haven't done. And yet, one moment of separation from a group, one walk toward the water in the dark, one unwitnessed fall changed everything. That's not a reason to stay home. It's a reason to stay together. Watch out for each other. Know where the water is. Walk away from the edge. Text your friends when you leave a venue. These sound like small things until they're not. The toxicology report will likely be the final chapter in what authorities rule about this case. If it reveals something unexpected, we will cover it. If it confirms the accidental theory, that will close the official record, even if it never fully closes the wound for his family. As of today, the investigation remains open. Spanish authorities are awaiting final laboratory results before issuing a definitive conclusion. Jimmy Gracey was set to graduate from the University of Alabama. He was 1 month from finishing his junior year. He had his whole life ahead of him. To James, Jimmy Gracey, chaplain, big brother, friend, son. You were described by everyone who knew you as someone who showed up for the people he loved. We hope you felt that love returned 1,000-fold in those final days as 2 continents searched for you, prayed for you, and held your family close. Rest easy, Jimmy, Dove. Jimmy was described as responsible, careful, and completely out of character for a disappearance like this. Do you think the toxicology report will change anything about how we understand what happened that night? Or is the CCTV footage the final answer? Drop your thoughts in the comments.